today, 4th of March, for those of you teaching in your schools, you might note today is Holi, Hindu festival, very big Hindu festival, which you might be interested in talking to the kids about. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about today, because I'm also not going to be talking about set allocations, which I've been sort of half obsessing over for the last little while, as it still has not been published. I want to go back in time about a week or so, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the circular that came out last week on CIDs, to not much acclaim. I was expecting a bit more of an uproar, but there wasn't one. And I think it was possibly because I don't think really anybody expected it to happen. Fair enough. I think, it was announced by Helen McEntee when she was the Minister for Education to solve the teacher crisis, which was, and just for those of you who don't know, the CID, a contract of indefinite duration, was going to be offered after 1 year of teaching to any temporary staff, instead of 2 years, which was the previous thing. And then it very kind of, I don't know, it kind of quietly went away as far as everybody was concerned, even like at INTO meetings and at principal meetings. Everyone said, no, that's a dead duck. Essentially, it wasn't really going to happen at all. So, but anyway, last week, a circular kind of came out of the blue, basically saying that the CID was going to happen. I'm not even sure if the INCO were aware of it. I'm sure they were. They're usually told what happens. But it's an unusual one because you don't automatically get a CID after 1 year. What you have to do is you still have to interview for jobs for year 2. And if you do get a job through by your interview, then you get a CID. And I was kind of thinking about this because it really makes that very high stakes, that interview, even more high stakes. And I don't know why, because it's pretty much the same thing really as it was. You still have to do 2 interviews to get a job, to get your permanent job, much like you did before. There was the job in the summer to get your initial position. Then at the end of the second year, you might apply and you might get an interview for year 2, and then you automatically got a CID at the start of year 3 if there was a job available. With this, you're still doing 2 interviews. It's just to get your CID at the start of the year rather than at the end of the year, and maybe that's why it didn't come in with much celebration or even anger from anyone. But I don't know what you think. It does. So I'm asking you really in a way. Did it make the process more high stakes, let's say, than it needs to be? Like, have they really made any difference to this? Is this just a mark of a pen, really, more so than anything else? I don't know. I mean, I was kind of interested in that. And the second thing I was kind of interested in was the second thing I was really interested in was was people's mindsets. I mean, principals around the country were aghast at the idea that someone would get a permanent job after just 1 year of teaching. And then I kind of thought to myself, pretty much all of these principals are probably around my age. And I remember when I qualified as a teacher, I expected a permanent job straight after college. It was quite normal. It was quite normal for somebody to get a permanent job straight out of college back in my day, in the olden days, which I don't think are the olden days, just over 20 years ago. And how things have changed, that like nobody expects to get a permanent job. And people my age are giving out about the audacity of someone thinking they might get a permanent job straight away without having to do a year or 2. So there are my thoughts for the day on the CID. I'd be very interested in hearing what you would think. Looking forward to talking about this if you'd like. All the best. Bye bye.